Okay, welcome back. This is the second lesson recording for IM2, October 15, 2020. So we were looking at this polygon TUVW, and that is similar to polygon ABCD. Okay, so we're told that these two polygons, these trapezoids, are similar. And if that is the case, then we figured out that angle V has to be 70 degrees because 70 angle C and angle V corresponds to each other from where they are in the similarity statement, and angle B and angle U would correspond to each other. Okay, but if we know that angle V is 70 degrees, what is angle U? Well, angle U and angle V, they are same side interior angles of parallel lines, and we know that TU and WV are parallel lines. So therefore, they are supplementary. So if this is 70 degrees, the angle U has to be 180 degrees minus 70, which is 110 degrees. Okay, now let's talk about length of TW. If you know that two polygons are similar, then the length of TW has to be proportional to length of AD. And the same way, length of TU and AB, they need to be proportional too because they're the corresponding side. So AD corresponds to TW and TU corresponds to AB. So putting the length ratios together, so what we're trying to find is TW. We're going to put question mark here. Divide by 6 is 15/9. Match up the ratios together and they have to be the same. So then you can cross multiply or multiply both sides by 6, and you get the question mark is to be 10 units. Okay, what if we are told that triangle FGH is similar to triangle CDE? Find side DE. Side, we need to figure out what this side is. Okay, so now we need to set it up. We need to set up the ratio equations of corresponding side length. Do we know whether CD corresponds to GH or CD corresponds to GF? You can't just go by what looks like they correspond. Okay, so you need to go from this similarity statement because that's where you're going to get the concrete information as to which vertex correspond to each other. So F and C corresponds to each other. F and C corresponds to each other. And G and D corresponds to each other. And H and E correspond to each other. That also means side CD corresponds to FG. Those are the first two letters. And there's the first two letters. So CD corresponds to FG. Find your FG is this one. They correspond to each other. And then finally the DE is the question, the side we're in question. DE is the last two letters. What are the last two letters of this triangle? GH. Find your GH. So it's this one. Okay, so then we have to set up the ratios or the proportions. So let's go with 18 divided by 63 is going to be equal to 2x plus 3, that's the plus 4, that's the expression, divided by 56. So we know that they are proportional. That means we can set it up like this. Now from here we need to solve. Okay, when you're solving, I'm going to show you a trick. Okay, you're dealing with big numbers. When you're dealing with big numbers, it's a lot more complicated. You want to reduce, simplify the fractions whenever possible. when you look at number 18 and 63, do you see a common factor to both 18 and 63? Is there a number that is divisible by 18 as well as divisible from 63? It's 9, right? So you can divide both numerator by 9 and denominator by 9. In doing so, you are left with, this is just becomes, instead of 18, that just becomes 2. 18 divided by 9 is 2. 63 divided by 9 is 7. Okay, this is much smaller number and it's going to be much easier to deal with. So it's 2 over 7 is equal to 2x plus 4 over 56. And then yes, we can use cross multiply, where I am multiplying 2 times 56 and 7 times 2x plus 4. Okay, so that becomes 2 times 56. What's 2 times 56? That's 112. I can even do this in my head because I've already simplified. And 7 times, so that becomes 7 times, again, I'm going to use parentheses so that I do not lose anything. And that becomes 7 times 2x is 14x. 7 times 4 is plus 28. So 112 is equal to 14x plus 28. So what do I do next? I need to get rid of this 28. So how do I do that? I subtract 28 from both sides. And then I am left with 14x is going to be equal to 12 minus 8 is going to be 4. 10 minus 8 is going to be 84. So 14x is going to be equal to 84. And let me just keep going. So 14x is 84. So divide both sides by 14. And that comes to 8x is equal to 6. So if I know x is equal to 6, remember, I'm not done. I need to find what the length of DE is. So DE, I am going to use DE, we're told is 2x plus 4. We just figure out x to be 6. So that's going to be 2 times 6, that's 12, plus 4. So that's 16 units. So I know that this has to be 16 here. Okay? Okay, so this is where you're taking notes. Okay, so we need to set up the ratio equation that can be used to solve for x. We're told that triangle JKL is similar to triangle STU. So J corresponds to S, K corresponds to T, L corresponds to U. So now let's look at the ratios that we know. Okay, so we have ST. ST, where is ST? ST is the first two letters. Then what is the corresponding side? JK. JK, they correspond to each other. And let's do the other side. We know that UT. UT is these two, the last two. That means K corresponds to KL. KL, right there. Okay, so now we can set up the ratios. So that's going to be 28 divided by 29x plus 4. The whole expression is equal to 44 divided by 143. Okay, now first thing, like I said, is there a number that is divisible by 44 and 143? And maybe you might not know this, but 11 is divisible by both. Okay, so then this expression just becomes, simplifies to 4 divided by 143 divided by 11 is actually 13. So now I am dealing with much smaller number, which is much easier. Okay, so then from here I am going to cross multiply, and you get 13 times 28 is equal to 4 times parenthesis 29x plus 4. Okay, so then from here 13 times 28, what is 13 times 28? Okay, so 13 times 28 is 364, and 4 times 29 is 116x. plus 16, and then you solve and you get x to be 3. Okay, so let's try the next problem. What other information we know? We know that two triangles are similar. That means QM, we know about QM. Where is QM? QM is the first two letters. That means it corresponds to ML. Where is ML on the other side? It corresponds to this side. Okay, you can't just go by looks. You need to match them up. And what do we know about RM? RM is here. RM is the first and the last. That means it corresponds to MK. So they match up. So then we set it up. Okay, so 9 divided by 54 is going to be same as x plus 4 matches with 72. And then from here you're going to solve. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is try to simplify the fraction whenever I can. I'm going to divide the numerator and denominator by 9 because when I look at those two numbers, I know that both numbers are divisible by 9, which becomes 1 over 6. Then I can deal with much smaller number. So 6 multiplied by x plus 4. Remember, I'm using the parentheses so that I do not just multiply by 6, but I need to multiply by the whole thing. This is like the fraction line is a grouping symbol. That means the whole thing has to be multiplied by 6, and then 1 needs to be multiplied by 72. You expand it out and you solve and you get x to be 8. Okay, couple more problems. Please pause the video and see if you can solve them yourself. Okay, here we go. So when you see a triangle within another triangle, okay, so we know that they're similar, and we're told that these two triangles are similar, then we know that the corresponding sides needs to be proportional. So we know that this side and this side, that's going to be proportional, and this side and this side all the way, they're going to be proportional. Okay, so let's use that relationship. That means 84 divided by 154 is going to be proportional to 78 divided by 15x minus 7. And again, whenever possible, I try to simplify the fraction. Okay, 84 and 154. Okay, once I've set up the equation, I know that 84 and 154 they're both divisible by 7. And then from there, I know that 12 and 22, they're both divisible by 2, so it becomes 6 over 11. Then I cross multiply and solve, and eventually I get x to be 10. Okay, similar problems. Okay, so then again, I know that 42 is going to be proportional to the long length, that's 56. 42 over 56 is going to be same as the short length is 3x minus 6 over 48. So that's my ratio or proportions. And once I've set it up, I try to simplify the fraction as much as possible. Or you don't have to, but it's going to allow you to do the mental math much easier. Okay, I see that 42 is divisible by 7 and 56 is also divisible by 7. So then that becomes 6 over 8. They're both even. That means they are both still divisible by 2. So that becomes 3/4. So 3/4, 3 over 4 is equal to 3x minus 6 over 48. Then from here you cross multiply and solve, and you get finally x to be 14. Okay, great. That was it for today. So please write in table of content that what we covered was triangle similarity, more of triangle similarity. And then we're going to get started on the quiz. Thank you.